Hey guys, welcome to next video on IELTS Writing Task 1 question types. So in this video today, I am going to show you what all questions you can get as part of Task 1, which I already explained in my previous video. That's the report writing. Right. So in Task 1, you will be presented with a graph, table, chart, or basically a diagram, and you'll be asked to describe, summarize, or explain the information in your own words. And I already told you what you need to do. You need to consider only specific or main trends, not specific, I should say the main trends which you can see on the graph, and compare and contrast data where relevant. So now the diagram can come in various forms, and these are some of the types that you can see in exam. So number one is line graphs, then you can have bar chart, then you can have pie charts, then tables, then some combinations, multiple graphs, charts, or tables, and sometimes you may get process diagrams or map, but that these two FNG or sixth and seventh types are very rare. But still we will discuss, because we have seen these we have seen process diagrams or maps as well in exam, but that's very rare. All right, so now let's start with the first type, which is line graph. So line graph, in line graph questions, basically you would see a line that represents various elements and changes over time. As you can see on the screen, right? So we have this line, then we have multiple lines. So one thing before we discuss this, so you see this reading, hiking, theater, watching TV, surfing the internet, these all are different elements of the graph, right? Since it's a line graph, so you can see the lines, you can see the lines, various lines that represent these elements and then changes over time. So there will be a line that connects points and represents its changes over time. So we have these multiple elements here, and these line represent how the particular behavior of that element over period of time, right? So as you can see on x-axis, so this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So y-axis here shows how popular particular activities were among elder people, and x-axis shows the year, right? So it clearly shows the popularity of different activities among elder people in United States over the time period from 1980s to 2010. So different elements, these elements are represented in the form of lines, and you have x-axis and you have y-axis. X-axis shows here the different time range in this example, but in almost, or not almost, but in all line graphs you will see similar structure only. You will have different elements. You will have something on x-axis and then you will have something on y-axis, and those elements would be compared using these x and y-axis. So here so these elements are compared over time period and how the percentage has changed over the time period, over the particular time period, right? So these were the line graphs. Now let's come to bar charts. So bar charts are basically the pictorial representation of a grouped data in the form of vertical or horizontal rectangular bars. As you can see here, we have got these vertical, and sometimes you may get horizontal rectangular bars as well. So lengths of these bars are equivalent to the measure of data, and that's why they are known as bar graphs or bar charts. So you see the length of this particular bar, for say green, this green, and then yellow, then red, represent the percentage, right? So this length represents how heavy this bar is, how much percentage this particular element has occupied. So you see here in this example also, we have got 4 elements here: underweight, ideal, overweight, obese. So these are the elements that are being compared over 2 bar charts. And then on x-axis you have this age range, where we have, and on y-axis we have percentage, and we have got each element covered in that particular age range, what percentage this attribute or element has occupied. Say for example, in this weight assessment of inhabitants of Charlestown 2015, so this is talking about 2015, this bar is talking about 1955. So now you are going to focus on how what's the actual length of this bar. So you see we have got ideal weight has got the maximum percentage covered among 20 to 29 years of age of inhabitants. And then 30 to 39 we have got this ideal less, and then overweight is increasing. So that's how you need to figure out what main trends, what are the main trends in this bar graph, and then obviously you will need to compare we will need to make comparisons where relevant. And as you see in this example, in this bar chart, we are provided with weight measurements of people in Charlestown in 1955 and then 2015. And the graph here shows percentage of people between particular age group falling under different elements, which are basically obese, ideal, underweight and overweight, right? So this was about bar chart. Now let's come to pie chart. So pie chart is also known as a circle chart. It divides the statistical data into different slices or different sectors. So each sector in pie diagram represents a proportion part of whole, right? Here data will be divided into slice and sectors, as I just said, and you can see in this example. So we have got this data covered in the form of sectors. So this, you see different elements are covered in different sectors. So these are the sectors: 15%, 50%, 10%, 25%. Right. So I think in this examiner, let me just see the exam question. So here, yeah. So here examiner is asking us to write about advantages and disadvantages of some island known as Bowen Island. Right. And in the pie chart, you can see we have been provided with the most common advantages and most common disadvantages. And of course, different elements here are divided into different sectors. So if I have to draw this pie chart into a bar chart, can you do that? I think we can do it easily. So in bar chart, I told you we are provided with bars, and that shows the length of these particular elements. So here then we'll have two rectangular or not rectangular, but two horizontal or vertical bar charts, whichever you want to create. So then let's say we are creating vertical bar chart. So then you'll have two bars, right? And on x-axis you will have advantages and disadvantages, and on y-axis you will have percentage. And then you can you'll have this yellow portion or for disadvantages for 50%, and then you'll have 50 to 75% you will have this entertainment, and 75 to 85 you'll have this food quality, and then 85 to 100 you'll have weather. So I'm just trying to explain you how you need to read data on different kinds of charts. It's very simple. It may take some time for you to get adapt if you have never worked on these illustrations, but once you get hold of that, it will be very, very simple for you to understand what this this particular chart wants us, what this particular chart depicts. So one thing, as I said, you have to focus on these elements and then see how these elements are divided in the chart. Right. So that's about pie charts. Now let's see the table. So that's very simple. So table is basically an arrangement of data in rows and columns. So as you can see in this example, we are provided with rows and then we have these columns. So here multiple information is provided, like number of native speakers, and then we have a number of native speakers for a particular language, and then number of speakers as an additional language of that particular language, and number of total speakers. And if you have to see what elements that are being compared, so you see we have the examiner is comparing here number of native speakers, number of speakers, and then total number of speakers for that particular language. So table is a simpler one, and let's now move to next one. So combinations. So sometimes you may get combination of two types of graphs. Like in this example, you can see we have got pie chart and we have got deep table. So like here you can see examiner has provided us a table that tells us about the number of visitors to Carrier Museum, and in the pie chart we are provided with feedback. So number of visitors to Carrier Museum. So before renovation, I think they were around 5.5 million, and then after renovation 3.5 million. So that means total number of visitors has increased. And then we have this feedback. We are provided with pie chart to give us information on the feedback. So students often get confused when they see multiple charts. So you don't need to get confused. You just need to focus on two main elements, as I explained in my previous video. What are the main trends? It doesn't matter if those main trends are in the form of table or in the form of pie chart, and then you have to compare and contrast wherever relevant. So we'll see that in our later videos, how you actually need to compare and how you actually need to find the main trends. Now next one is process diagram. Although it's very rare, you might see process diagram in exam as well. So you'll get a diagram, like as you can see on the screen. So you'll get a diagram on your exam which you would need to explain what it is doing and its main So here in this example, we are given with structure, which is not structure but yeah, architecture, which is used to generate electricity from water power, wave power. So now if you see, there are differences in these two images. These differences you need to capture. So for example, here in this first diagram, we have got air. Waves are basically coming in and air is moving out, which is at last moving the turbine, and that is generating the electricity. And in second image, you can see wave is going out and air is coming in and moving the turbine in the same direction to generate electricity. So that's how your process diagrams are. Now let's come to next type, maps. Again, these also are very rare, but again you may get this type of question as well as in exam. So you'll be provided with multiple maps from different years of some area or place. In general, there will be before and after fashion. So as you can see here, so we have these two maps. In 1995, some map of some area or some park was looking like this, and then in present it's looking like this. So you would need to compare how maps have changed over the time. As in this example, you can see lots of changes have been observed in the village. In 1995, farmland is now developed with golf course, right? And there is no forest park now. So all forest park now is clubbed with, all this area for forest park is now clubbed with golf course. So that's how you need to find the changes between the two diagrams, and same for process diagrams. And for these table different charts, I already told you, you need to find the main features considering all the elements that are presented and how the trend has changed over time. But it's the pie chart, how these sectors are divided among all the elements. So that's what you need to capture. So I hope you have got the idea and you have got the basic understanding what all questions you may get in exam. That's it from this video. I'll see you in my next video.